Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you today? Welcome to Storytime with Miss Sam. Today we are going to be reading about robots. One of my favorite topics. I love robots, and I'd love to learn how to build a robot so I could have a robot with me at home. Anyway, so I've got three great books here, and I've got a felt story, and we're going to start with our first book about the three little aliens and the big robot. Okay, once there was a mama alien who had three little aliens. Got one, two, and three. They were called Bork, Gork, and Inkalikuzus. Bork, Gork, and Inkalikuzus grew up in an old-fashioned house in a snug, cozy crater on a tiny little planet. And as the eons passed, their house got too crowded. Look at all of that stuff. They need more space. It's time for you to go out into the universe and find a planet of your own, their mama told them, giving them each a hug. But remember, watch out for the big bad robot. It wants to chew you up. So Bork, Gork, and Inkalikuzus took off. Bye, Mama, they cried. Bye, kids, she shouted back. Always stick together, she added, and then she sniffed a little bit. And call me every once in a while. Oh. The three little aliens traveled far and fast. There's a cute planet, said Bork. Too hot, said Inkalikuzus. How about that one, asked Gork. Too crowded, replied Inkalikuzus. They darted around a meteor. Are we there yet? Asked Bork. And just past the next bend, a big planet, swirling with dust, loomed into the view. Bork spotted a shiny space rover zipping around its mountains and plains. Awesome, she said. I'm going to live in that. Ma said to stick together, called Inkalikuzus. But Bork had already zipped too far away to hear. Inkalikuzus and Gork traveled on. Inkalikuzus didn't like the looks of the next planet either. Nowhere to breathe, he gasped. Picky, picky, Gork said. Then, just ahead, he spied a giant planet with huge golden rings around it. He jumped on a passing satellite and caught a ride on a ring. Whee! He squealed. This is what I call home. We can't live on a ring that goes around in circles, yelled Inkalikuzus. You will get dizzy. But Gork wasn't paying any attention. Now, Inkalikuzus was all alone. He traveled deeper and deeper into space until he spotted a massive blue planet far out in the galaxy. It had 13 moons and refreshing breezes. This faraway place is where I'll build my home, he said. It will be safe from any big bad robot. It's pretty smart. Inkalikuzus found everything he needed to make sturdy walls. He gathered stardust to keep his home bright and found solar panels to keep it warm. And then he grabbed a tall, shiny telescope. This'll do for a chimney, he said, though no one heard him. Rock by rock and row by row, Inkalikuzus built the perfect house. And when he was finished, he sat down and locked the door. His house was not very zippy or cool, but it was very safe. and there was room enough for all 3 little aliens. "I hope they come to visit soon," said Inklinkawiz. Look at him, sitting there in his new home. Then, one galactic dawn, there was a rumbling in the universe. "Greep, boink, meep, beep, beep, ork, eep." It was the big, bad robot. Bork was so busy on her swirly red planet that she couldn't hear the robot's call. She didn't feel its giant footsteps as it leapt from star to star, and she didn't see the robot until it was right in front of her rover. Little alien, bleeped the robot. Pull over, pull over." "Not by the wheels of my trusty space rover," cried Bork bravely. "Then I'll crack and smack and whack your house down," meeped the robot. "Greep, boink, meep, beep, beep, ork, eep, eep." And just like that, the robot cracked and smacked and whacked Bork's shiny rover into 100 pieces. As fast as the speed of sound, Bork jetted away, the robot close behind her. Just as the robot was about to eat her up, she spotted Gork's satellite house. "Gork, Gork, help me!" she cried. But Gork was having so much fun surfing on the rings of his giant planet that he didn't hear Bork's cries. He didn't see the robot chomping on comets and ripping open black holes until the big bad robot caught Gork's satellite in his huge metal claw. little alien, it broinked. "Come out of hiding." "Not by the orbit of this ring I'm riding," cried Gork stoutly. "Then will shatter and clatter and scatter your house down," groaned the robot. And before Gork could fly beneath the radar, that robot clattered and scattered and shattered Gork's satellite into 1,000 pieces. Greep, boink, meep, ork, beep, beep, eep, eep, eep. Gork barely escaped. "Over here," he called Bork. "Stick together!" And at the speed of light, Bork and Gork blasted out into space, with the big bad robot getting closer all the time. "Where can we hide?" asked Gork. "Let's find Inklinkawitz," cried Bork. "He'll know what to do." Inklinkawitz had heard the robot's roar. He had seen what was going on with his brother and sister through his telescope, and he was ready. He flashed his solar panels halfway across the universe. "There he is!" cried Bork and Gork, and they zoomed to Inklinkawitz's house as fast as a hurtling asteroid. "Get inside!" cried Inklinkawitz. "No time to waste!" There they go, they're running. No sooner had Bork and Gork slammed Inkalinkawitz's solid space rock door shut than they heard the robot rumbling. little alien," he squeaked. "Let me come in." "Not by the slime on my chinny chin," cried Inklinkawitz. "Then I will smack and crack and whack your house down," zeeped the robot. The big robot bashed and crashed Inkalinkawitz's strong, solid house. Nothing happened. Then it pounded and smashed really hard, but not a crack. And then it loaded up its triple blaster and zapped that house, but good. And that house would not fall down. So the robot forced its way into the little alien's house, right down the chimney. The aliens covered their ears and waited for the robot to chomp them up. Oh no. But halfway down the telescope, that robot got stuck tight. It strained and it struggled and it moaned and it groaned. Inglingwood's house shook and shuddered, but did it fall down? It did not. And the robot gave one more mighty cry and burst into a million pieces. Cool, said Bork. Awesome, said Gork. Just as I planned, said Inglingwood. There's just one thing missing, said Bork. Phone home, said Gork. So Inglingwood did. Ma, he said, we have the coziest house in the galaxy. Won't you come over and tuck us in? The end. Alright, that's about the three little aliens and a big bad robot. I hope that you enjoyed that story. And we have a little song we can sing about robots. Now it goes to the tune If You're Happy and You Know It, so I'm sure that you guys can sing this along with me. And it goes like this. If you're a robot and you know it, clink your coils. If you're a robot and you know it, clink your coils. If you're a robot and you know it, if you're a robot and you know it, if you're a robot and you know it, clink your coils. If you're a robot and you know it, clunk your gears. If you're a robot and you know it, clunk your gears. If you're a robot and you know it, if you're a robot and you know it, if you're a robot and you know it, clunk your gears. If you're a robot and you know it, press your buttons, beep, beep. If you're a robot and you know it, press your buttons, beep, beep. If you're a robot and you know it, if you're a robot and you know it, if you're a robot and you know it, press your buttons, beep, beep. Alright, on to our second story of the day. It is called Boy and Bot. Let's see what happens. A boy was collecting pine cones in his wagon when he met a robot. Hi, said the boy. Want to play? And the robot blinked. Affirmative. They played and they had fun. But as they rolled down the hill, a rock bumped the robot's power switch, and the robot turned off. What's wrong? The boy said. The robot did not answer. Are you sick? The boy asked. And the robot still did not answer. I must help him, the boy said. The boy fed him applesauce. He took the robot home, and he read the robot a story. And he tucked him in. Good night, Bot, the boy whispered, and climbed into bed. Here you go. Later, the boy's parents peeked in on him. They did not see the bot behind the door, and the door bumped the bot on his power switch. Beep! Bot turned on. What is wrong? Bot asked. The boy did not answer. Did you malfunction? Asked Bot. The boy still did not answer. I must help him, Bot said. And then he took the boy home. Bot gave him oil. He read the boy an instruction manual. And he was bringing him a spare battery when the inventor walked in. Stop! The inventor shouted. That is a boy! Oh. The boy woke with a start. Then he saw Bot. The boy smiled. Bot, you're cured! And Bot lit up. Boy, you are fixed! The inventor called Boy's parents. And then he drove Boy home. There they go, Bot, Boy, and the inventor in a car. Good night, Bot, Boy said. Good night, Boy, Bot said. Want to play tomorrow? Boy nodded. Affirmative. And the friends did. The end. And that's what happened with Boy and Bot. They became best friends. Isn't that a wonderful story? Affirmative. Alright, now I have a felt board for us to do where we can learn to count to 5 using robots. Join me over there. Alright everyone, here's our robot felt board. In this one we're going to learn to count to 5. So practice with me before we start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 little robots. And it goes like this. 5 noisy robots in the big toy shop, shiny and tall with antenna on top. Along came a girl with a penny one day and bought a noisy robot and took it away. Beep. 4 noisy robots in the big toy shop. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shiny and tall with an antenna on top. Along came a girl with a penny one day, bought a noisy robot, and took it away. Beep. 3 noisy robots in the big toy shop. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. Shiny and tall with an antenna on top. Along came a girl with a penny one day, bought a noisy robot, and took it away. Beep, beep. 2 noisy robots in the big toy shop. Let's count. 1, 2. Shiny and tall with an antenna on top. Along came a girl with a penny one day, bought a noisy robot, and took it away. Beep. Only 1 noisy robot in the big toy shop. 1. Shiny and tall with an antenna on top. Along came a girl with a penny one day and bought a noisy robot and took it away. Beep. No more robots. Alright, that's it for our felt story. Now let's go on to our last book. See you there. Alright, welcome back for our last story about robots. And this one is called Little Bot and Sparrow. Isn't that cute? We've got a little robot and a little sparrow bird. Alright, let's see what happens. One day, Little Bot wasn't needed anymore. He was thrown out with the garbage. For once, he didn't have any work to do. Little Bot lay there for a very long time. There he is, laying in the snow. Until a flock of birds decided he was the perfect place to perch. And having never seen a bird before, Little Bot decided to say, "Hello." That did not go so well. The birds quickly flew away, but one decided to stay behind. Sparrow had never seen a robot before, and curious, she watched. And watched. And watched. Until she realized that the robot just needed to be taken under her wing. She led him to the forest, introduced him to her friends, and taught him why robots should not fly. Oh, there he goes. He ran into a tree. He learned that not everything in Sparrow's world was sweet, and some things had a sting to them. Oh, look, they're bees. Other things were better left alone. Oh my gosh, big bears. And some scary things were actually beautiful. Look at all the lights lighting up in the cave. Each night, Little Bot watched Sparrow while she slept. He once asked her why she needed to sleep. To rest and to dream, Sparrow said. Little Bot didn't know what it meant to dream. He decided it was best left for the birds. And one day, Little Bot noticed the leaves changing. "Winter is coming," Sparrow said, looking at the sky. "What does that mean?" the robot asked. "It means that I'll be leaving soon," Sparrow said. As the days went by, the leaves fell, and the air became colder. Brr. Little Bot could feel his time with Sparrow growing shorter. Then the first snowflake fell. There it goes. And they knew it was time to say goodbye. There you go. Little Bot watched Sparrow until she was a tiny dot in the sky. There they are. And then she was gone. Alone again, Little Bot roamed the forest. He thought about everything he had learned from Sparrow and the time they'd spent together. He wondered if she was safe and warm. And Little Bot wandered back to the hill where he first met Sparrow. He closed his eyes, and that night, the little robot dreamed. I think he dreamed of flying. Isn't that wonderful? The end. Alright, that's it for our stories about robots today. I hope you liked them, and I can't wait to see you next time with Stories with Miss Sam. Bye!